This is going to be a first impressions video on ChatGPT 4.0 with Canvas, which just dropped. Now, what I will say is most of these are really just good for components, front end stuff in isolation. Now, if you want to actually string these together and make an app, that's not so great. You want to probably use Cursor. So just wanted to call that out because I've been playing with them for a while. And that's what I've found is everything has a small use case and you kind of have to use them individually. So this came out today, October 3rd, a couple hours ago, and read the blog article, wanted to try it out. My first test for this to see how it ranks against the V0 by Vercel, as well as just Claude, was just asking it to make a good prompt for itself and then to make an Obsidian Markdown text editor. Because these models know what Obsidian is, and so you can kind of get a good idea of how well it can put together a note-taking app, how far it will go. And it didn't get very far. Basically, it made this, and you can't see any other files, which I thought was kind of strange. So if I did the same thing in Claude, then I would see it gave me a bunch of different files, and V0 gave me a bunch of different files as well. So like I said, it gives you everything kind of in isolation. I think that that's a much better feature. I know that these tools are early, but I think the V0, from what I can see, is serving a different use case where it's really good at the Next.js stuff and building these components in isolation. And you can kind of string things together. Like I built this calendar, took 15 takes, but it has this little preview thing, which isn't perfect. It moves them around. And you can change the weeks, you can see the different calendars, you can see different activity layers, and that's all done in here. And I don't know that I would trust, if I just, let's say, open up a new ChatGPT 4.0 Canvas and I say, let's make a Google Calendar clone that includes drag and drop, and it's the week view. Include all details. Do not omit any code. It must be production ready. We prefer to use TypeScript and Next.js app router with Tailwind for styles and ShadCN for UI components. I'll give you $100 if you get it right. You lose $50 for everything you get wrong. Cool. Let's see what it does here. Sure, I can provide you that. Okay, so cool. It pops this thing open. So it's just trying to give me this one big file. So very different than I think what a lot of us are kind of used to, where you get multiple files. So that's different. I think this is more of a collaborative tool than just straight up like generate a bunch of files for me, as far as I can tell. Now, what I will say that I've been using from OpenAI since I discovered how good it was is O1 Preview. I mean, it's crazy. It takes a little bit of time for it to run, but it's very powerful. Like in my case, I was debugging something with event resizing in Map, my SaaS. And it took me forever to get it right. Oh, it looks like my server's shut off. But basically, O1 Preview is fantastic at complex problems with server state, client state, all that stuff. And the way that I was doing that is I basically just packed up the files, did a repo pack on the directories that I wanted and aimed it at this. Because if you are using Cursor, it's 40 cents per request, which is kind of crazy. So that's why, I have a bunch of credits in the platform, and you just go in and you add a system prompt. So you put in whatever prompt you want. And one pro tip for that is actually in the playground. There's this new thing that they added under system instructions. So you can put in a description of what you want it to be. And I just put my cursor rules in there and then optimize it for the system settings. So then when I actually go back into the chat playground, I would put in this, I'd put it on assistant, I'd hit add, and then my next one would be a user, and I'd explain, hey, this is what we're trying to address, whether it's something that I'm debugging or it's something like a net new feature, I would explain what the objective is, and then I would paste that repo pack text file below. Then I'd flip it over to preview. Again, that's way more powerful. But this, I think it's definitely interesting. Like, I think I could see myself using this, like, if I wanted to maybe, I don't know, I already use add logs. Like, I have something for that. Like, I use a lot of text expanders, so like a demo for that would be like, I'll open up a note real quick. I use a lot of text expanders that already do this in Cursor. So if I say at comments, then it pops open this prompt, and I just run that. So my workflow for, instead of having this button in there where it's just one file in isolation, I have keyboard shortcuts, and in there, so I do like Command plus K. Oops. Command K, and then I would do, let's say, like at comments. And then that's going to pop into the actual file. And then I select the model, and then I hit go, and it adds all those comments. I don't really know I'd use this. I'm curious if you could see what the, like, if in the network request, if we can see what it's saying when they do that. So we could see, like, so you could basically mimic, if you really liked what this did, maybe we can snoop around and see. I doubt it, but let's try. Let's see, like, let's port this whole thing to let's go to, it's weird. Keep current. It already is, should be TypeScript, but let's port it into Python. Okay, let's see. Conversation 4.0 can more. That's the model right there. Interesting. So we learned something, that this is the model name for with Canvas. So you're going to probably be able to hit this. I don't know. Whatever. Let's see if we can't find anything good. Primary assistant, messages, role assistant. Trying to figure out what the prompt is for. I think these are just going to be all the messages for when you want to translate it to Python. User, create a new document that rewrites the code in Python. That's it. So they do a user. Okay. Context. This is referring to this, so it looks like a hash or no. It just passes in the chat ID. The user would like to create a new text doc. Okay. Interesting. So I wonder if I get the same output. Probably. If I went into the 4.0 mini and then I just set a system prompt of, or a user prompt of create a new document that rewrites the code in Python. And then I could probably just do that there. And then just pass it the existing one. Yeah. So nothing too cool there. What about this one? Is there anything I'm missing? Let's see if I'm missing anything. How about, yeah, conversations includes memory? No, because we don't have any. And then it passes this text doc back, which is just step one, install the necessary dependencies. Yeah, so that's the actual thing. Okay, so that's what's streaming in, and then, all right, not that interesting. Now let's try fix bugs. Let's see what this looks like. So it passes that in. go down to here. It's going to be in the conversation. Backend is dark mode false. That's all the client side stuff. And the messages, again, we just have assistant. We have, I've provided this. Let me know if you need help extending. That's something that they added. Nothing too interesting in there either. What's chat requirements? Proof of work. Huh. Yeah, nothing crazy. So that's kind of it there. Um, let's try with like writing something. Let's try something on just plain English. Prove your sleep. Let's grab this. Okay. Throw that into a new canvas. Can you help me? You help me write a draft for my newsletter. Let's see what it does. Now, I think this would probably be cooler, where it's like for marketers, you could come in here and that's kind of interesting. You can change the styling, I guess that's helpful. Add, edit, or explain. Can you elaborate on the following topic? Provide. Can you elaborate on the following topic? Pull in sources, cite a bunch of different stats that support the case for why sleep is good. See if it can do that. Okay. See, that's cool. Huh. Suggest edits, adjust the length. Oh my gosh. Wow. So I could basically just take this whole thing. I could see the writing tool being a lot more helpful. So if I just took this and said, all right, I want you to make this better. Wow. See, that's pretty cool. Huh. And then you have this log on the left. Okay. So yeah, I think this is going to be danger for a lot of the tools like what is it called? Hemingway editor. I think that's kind of irrelevant, but it does this where it kind of grades things. Let's just apply these. What else can we do with this? Now I wonder why they add this stuff. How about, can you use italics and bold to emphasize points? Don't be overbearing. Cool. Interesting. I wonder if I could do tables. Let's try tables now. I don't know if this looks like it's just markdown. So we've done the link thing. We've done the reading level is pretty cool. Add final polish. Add emojis. Oh God, instantly cringe. Instantly cringe. We don't want that many emojis. Okay, how do we remove emojis? You can't. I can just add more. Wow. Okay. How about it? That's a lot of emojis. What about if I want to change the reading level? Let's make it for kindergartners. Huh. Okay. And then let's add some final polish. So it's the styling. Wow. Yeah, this is going to be a game changer for bloggers. That's for sure. And I can see how this becomes like probably an API that you can hit. I'm really curious about that part. But I wonder how I like get this. I feel like they should take this and like make it easier to export, like for different formats. But I know this is in beta. Literally came out today. Let's make it the longest it could possibly be, and just make it longer like 6 times and see. Can I just keep suggest edits? Wow. So first impressions are for programming. If you already use Cursor and you're used to using that and you're good at prompts and you use V0, then this is pretty useless. But for document editing, writing in English, seems awesome. I could totally see how this would be very helpful. And I think it's going to get a lot better. I'm curious if they end up having an API for it, because inline editing with their models as a service, that'd be really cool. Like the way that they have the comments show up, the way that you can do suggestions. Like if you think up a layer of abstraction where not white labeled, but like if this is even the UI elements, all this stuff is very smooth. I'd love to see this in a lot of products, and it would make the experience a lot better for creators. So that's the video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like it, and I'll see you in the next.